What's going on, folks? I am Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy, and welcome to an exciting edition and welcome to the first episode of a new segment known as Bombers Banter,
Let's go.
where we talk all Yankees baseball. And I am joined by my good friend and fellow Yankee fan, Danny Boy Reginald.
How's it going, buddy?
How you doing, bud?
All good. All good. Bombers banter. Let's go.
So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna talk some. I'm just gonna take care of a few housekeeping things before we get down to business. This is gonna be a we're gonna be doing this show like I think we decided like what, once a month, maybe once a month, like twice a month.
Yeah.
You'll get an episode of us at least once a month.
Yeah, depending on the situation going on with our New York Yankees, that's pretty much how we're gonna deal with this show. We don't want to bombard you because, let's be real, we talk about the Yankees all the time,
whether it's on SIP or Batter Up.
Yeah, so we don't want to bombard you with Yankee talk, but this is sort of our way of, just doing exclusive Yankee stuff.
Yeah, because I feel like on the other things we do, we kind of have to, make room for like how, people like Mark and Mike who are Met fans, or people like Patchy who's a Nationals fan.
Right. We
kind of have to make room for them, which is not a bad thing, but this is just a space for us to talk Yankee baseball.
Well, let's be real. Well, we can call it what it is, Bill. Okay. Vent and cry about the Yankees because they're
we were probably gonna be doing a lot of that this season.
We're gonna do plenty of that this season.
Yeah, after we after this past season, after we got bounced from the LCS again.
Yep.
And with the getting swept by the Houston Astros, who ended up winning the World Series. But you know what? Don't look into the past. Am I right?
I can't say that right now. But yeah, don't look into the past.
we have to look into the future.
Sure.
And how's the future looking right now? We'll get into that.
Yep.
Yeah, well, we are exactly 37 days away from opening day.
That's it. That's very exciting.
We're 37 days away from opening day, folks.
Yeah.
It's coming. It is coming. And our first spring training game is Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
I wonder how many innings they're going to actually play this weekend.
Okay. So they will be playing
the Phillies.
The Phillies. Actually, Saturday they'll be playing them. And
so the Phillies Saturday, and then Sunday the Braves.
Oh, it's a split squad game they're playing, and they're also playing the Blue Jays too.
Oh, interesting. So they have their first split squad on Sunday, Braves, and then the Blue Jays. Both 1 o'clock starts there.
Dude, baseball is here.
It is here. It's great.
Are you excited?
We got to see how it plays out, but I mean, of course, I'm excited that baseball's back. It's great.
Baseball's back. Okay, so let's get down to business. Okay. Some things happen in the off season, some good, some questionable. Would you say questionable or just concerning? What would you say, Reg?
More concerning.
Okay. Let's start with the good. The Yanks said, we're not going to do a 3-hour doctoral thesis on this because we beat this dead horse to death.
Yep.
Aaron Judge is back.
Mm-hmm.
Committed to 9 years and $360 million. We'll keep the Judge talk quick. What do you... Good deal?
They overpaid.
My issue, Reg, is not the money, and I've been saying this since December.
Yeah.
My issue is not the money. My issue is the length of this contract.
Yeah, well, my issue is both the money and the length of the contract.
Yeah, because my issue is because we're now on the hook for three contracts, three
Exactly.
big contracts.
Three big time contracts: the Cole contract, the Stan contract, and now
Now
the
Judge,
Judge.
and now Judge, and
And,
like
and then of course you wrote on too. That was a pretty hefty contract as well. Not as much as Judge, Cole, or Stanton, but still.
it's like
Um,
B level heavy contract.
yeah. So I think that the Judge contract, look, that they had to sign Judge, but 9 years is too much. At 360, it's too much. I think the Yankees got scared and duped because they had to sign him, otherwise the fan base would have gone nuts.
Oh, they would have gone crazy.
But let's be real. I think Judge wanted to come back to New York. And I think that and look, give him credit. They were able to negotiate and they were able to come to whatever deal they came to. But I think the Yankees were duped because I feel like if the Yankees had negotiated something around the average annual value per year, um, and kept a shorter contract, I think that would have been a better way to deal with this. Um,
Oh,
but I think they panicked because they knew Judge was going to go to the Giants and threatened, and Hal Steinbrenner, of course, wanted to get the job done, wanted to make sure that his fan base doesn't riot. Decides to sign Aaron Judge to that massive contract. So now we're on the hook for that. Um, the Yankees have to win now.
yeah. And you know what? I'll say this. And if you've listened to SIP, you've heard me criticize Brian Cashman. You've heard me criticize Hal Steinbrenner. And you know what? Little caveat about this thing here. You're gonna get nothing but honesty from us.
Yeah.
We're not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. We're giving you the full out truth. We're gonna yeah, but and trust me, a lot of Steinbrenner and Cashman criticism might be coming this year, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
But you know what? Here's where I will give credit to Hal Steinbrenner. He said we will not be outbid, and he got his wish granted.
Yeah. And it helps that they signed Rizzo too to
Rizzo's back.
short-term deal, so that was good. Rizzo, by the way, wanted to come back to the Yankees as well. So at least people want to come back to the team. Just some of these contracts are questionable. Rizzo was a perfectly fine contract. I was okay with that. I'm
Like
glad
3 years, right?
yeah, I'm glad that they were able to get that done too. Big time first baseman, probably the best we've had in a long time. And power guy, he can hit. And with the shift gone, Bill, expect more hits from him. So that's gonna be great. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I like Rizzo. Him and him next to Judge is probably like the big.
Yeah. That just the two and then Stanton. So that three alone is pretty dangerous. Going into the heart of the order.
Yeah.
It's a pretty solid move there. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I gotta admit, this past year I was impressed that he was starting to pick things up a little more because
Stanton has never been an issue with the Yankees, though. The issue is he's hurt. But when he's healthy,
when he's healthy, he's great.
Dude's a stud. So I don't have any issues. I don't really complain about Stanton in terms of his play. I complain that he's hurt a lot.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, the problem is he gets hurt like a lot of times.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. But hopefully he can stay healthy this year in the heart of the lineup. Him, Rizzo, and Judge.
Yep.
They'll be absolutely beast. They will be absolutely beast.
Yeah. And I just think that these moves are obviously necessary, but again, the Judge thing overpaid. Now, thing that scares me though is that they only signed Judge and Rizzo and didn't go after any of the big time players.
That is the thing that
And
does concern me.
and the reason why it scares me is because the Yankees are trying to win now. Okay, well, you need to get the players out there that will give you the best chance to win. And if you don't get that, then what you're basically saying is you have to rely on these kids to come out and be studs. And as look, I want the young guys to play. I want to see Perez out there. I want to see Cabrera out there. Um, Dominguez eventually. Yeah, I would love to see all of them out there, but they're not going to be good right away because they're young. They're just coming up from the minor leagues. So if they're having a slow start to the season, on top of having Donaldson, a veteran who stinks, Glaber, who stinks, on top of all that, Aaron Hicks, who stinks.
Ugh.
Like it's cringy. It's very cringy.
Oh, it is.
I would have loved to have seen them move at least the Hicks contract, but they didn't. So it's a little bit frightening. But this is the direction the Yankees wanted to go. Cashman always says that he's confident about what the product he's going to put out there. So is Steinbrenner, though Steinbrenner doesn't really care about the team. So yeah, but it's nerve-wracking.
Oh, I agree. Because why resign Donaldson? Why resign?
Well, they're under contract.
Yeah.
They're on the contract with the Yankees. It's not about resigning. They're already there.
Okay, my mistake. But when you keep, it's like you should have tried. You should have made more moves. You should have made more moves to get other players during this offseason.
Yeah, like Correa. Look, his physical was concerning, but Carlos Correa was out on the market for months and couldn't get signed.
And the Yankees made no move because
tell me the Yankees couldn't swoop in and get a small deal for Carlos Correa?
Well, because they were too busy with the damn Judge contract.
Oh no, this was after the Judge though. They already made the Judge move. Correa was in the market months after Judge was signed. Weeks. I mean,
yeah, like why didn't they get him?
Well, again, probably too expensive and injury concerns. That was the same concerns the Giants had and the Mets had. But still, I'd rather him than young guys that we don't know. You know what you're going to get out of Correa. You know he's a good shortstop. You know he's a good hitter. And as much as the cheating thing rubs me the wrong way, I would much rather have him right now on my team, knowing that it's going to give us the best chance to face off against the Astros, or other rising teams out there, like the Blue Jays, the Mariners, all of a sudden, like the league's getting stronger, Bill.
It is. And we made no moves. Like, we need, I think another position that we should have looked at is left fielder.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I know in terms of left field, they're going to start doing these experiment type of things.
Oh God, I don't like experiments.
Judge, I'm not saying they played these positions before. Stan's played left field.
Yeah.
They're going to try to see if they can put Stanton in left, Judge in right. I believe that's how they want to do it during the home games this season. Yes. And then Hicks and others center field, and then the Judge and Stan will trade places in DH and left field when they're not at Yankee Stadium. But I think that's the plan. I could be wrong, but that's from my understanding, that's what I read. Yeah, look, obviously Stan more time on the field is great because Stan's a great outfielder. He has a good arm,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
so that would be pretty nice instead of having him DH all the time, which is it's fine because he doesn't get hurt and he could focus on his bat, but at the same time, we have all these outfielders on each team and some of them only DH. It's like, okay, well, what did you get him for?
Hey, like we said, Reg, the big concern is that Stanton keeps getting hurt.
Yeah.
And if he's in the outfield, that's going to be. And I want him in the outfield.
But you're afraid to get, yeah, I see it too. Don't worry about it. I get it. But what's there to worry about? If you go with this plan, well, I'm going to see how it works. If you go with this plan, this is probably the best plan they have in terms of preserving his body.
Absolutely.
Instead of giving him days off and only having him, you're not really doing much with that.
So yeah, put Stanton in left field or right field. Put him in the outfield. See what happens.
Yeah, it's time, and I'm glad that Aaron Boone is at least considering figuring out how they can move around players. This is probably the most managerial thing Boone has done so far, in terms of how he wants to deal with his lineup and his team. So, on that front, as much as I criticize Boone a lot, and you'll probably hear more criticism of this guy because he's not a good manager, I like how at least he's thinking a little more about how he can utilize his players so that he doesn't have to worry so much about what the numbers say, just worry about putting a good product out on the field every night.
Yeah, just put a good team out there. That's all we're wondering. And like Reg said, we're gonna have a lot of words for Mr. Boone this year.
Yeah.
About 90% of them we probably can't say here without getting in trouble. So
Yeah.
But yeah, that's we got to see what the deal is there. But then with how they're switching around, but like I said, getting back to free agents with left field, they should have considered making the trade for Brian Reynolds.
But you would have to give up an arm, a leg, a head for him.
A kidney.
It's not worth it. I'm not gonna give up multiple organs and body parts just to get one player. And look, Reynolds is a good player, and again, I don't know how that Pirates team is going to be this season. I'm sure it's going to be another lost season, but giving up so much just to get him and then not know what you're going to get out of him, because what if you get him and he stinks? Well, then you lost your talent, all the talent that's been growing in your system,
and you're stuck with them.
That we know has potential, and you're stuck with Brian Reynolds and a long contract because that's how it was going to be. We're going to trade for him and sign him to a longer contract.
These long contracts.
I know.
We'll get more to that in a second about someone else we'll talk about soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, they should have made more deals. They should have made more. They should have done more signings in the off season. They really should have.
Yeah.
But speaking of left field, there is actually a free agent who is available right now who's saying the Yankees should think about signing. And that is Jurickson
Profar.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
What would you say to Jurickson? What would you say to Jurickson Profar on the Yankees?
I mean, it's not the worst. He's been in the Padres system for the last 3 seasons. And he has good numbers. It's just trying to find a decent deal that's not going crazy over. in terms of money wise, and I don't think he's gonna be worth that much. So it's not terrible. Like he'll sort of be that spot Cameron Maben was in. Like I can envision him in that sort of spot. So low end contract, plays in the outfield. So that's how I see it with Jurickson Profar.
You got, he last year he batted 243, 15 home runs, 58 RBIs, and a 723 OPS.
Right.
So I believe that he could be, is he the exact answer to the Yankees' woes in left field? Reg, what do you think?
Is he gonna be the answer to his woe? I mean, be better.
I think, he's still a free agent. And at this moment, if I'm Brian Cashman or if I'm Hal Steinbrenner, I'd sign him right now. Here's the pen. Here's the pen.
Right.
I'm sure they have. Okay, I'm sure Steinbrenner and Cashman have nicer pens than these, but like, here's the pen. Sign the contract now. Here's a hat. Here's a jersey. Get on the field.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
need you at left field, Jurickson. 6 a.m. We need you.
Yeah. The Yankees don't need him. They have plenty of outfielders. So my point is that let's try not to sign too many players, and if we're going to sign Profar, try to not pay him so much. And I don't think he's worth a lot, but you never know. I don't know what he's asking for. About it. So I say, let's focus on one of the younger guys, two the players that we already have before we think about getting Profar. And look, I don't mind having him, but just tone it down a little bit. It's not something that we need to go crazy for. But it'll be nice to me. It'll be a nice addition. And again, I see him more like a Cameron Maben type of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
For real?
So so are they gonna sign? I don't know, because left field is just like I said, they need
today's Thursday.
they need left field here.
Yeah. So I guess
so other things that I think we need to discuss this year are notable departures.
Right.
And that is Chad Green, Andrew Benintendi,
yep,
Jameson Tyone, Matt Carpenter, and Aroldis Chapman.
Another one, I think Zach Britton is no longer with the team as well.
He's no longer with us.
Yeah, no, he is currently a free agent, and I don't think with his injury history and just flat out just being awful for the Yankees, I just don't see a reunion happening. So he'll probably not join the Yankees for the season as well.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. So, which of those departures you think is going to hit the Yankees the most?
I think I'll miss Benintendi, even though he hurt his finger. I feel bad for him.
There's nowhere he can call.
I think only because he was another big time outfielder that was starting to cook for the Yankees before he got hurt. So when he got hurt, that sucked because the Yankees went on a hitting downward spiral. It was amazing. But I think definitely losing Benintendi sucks. Chad Green, losing him stinks, but Chad Green was also underperforming last season. So I think we can afford to lose Chad Green, especially since the bullpen is actually getting younger.
Yeah.
And of course, I would much rather younger arms and fresh out the box than Chad Green, who we had for a few years and know we can do good, but then you run the risk of, okay, well, this is going to be the same after an injury, because that's what was the case for him. And also, is his underperformance going to continue? So I wish him all the best, though. I love Chad Green. I'm going to miss him, but I think we could afford to lose that. Losing Benintendi sucked. I
Yeah.
wanted him back.
Because you need someone who's gonna hit like him, someone who could keep the ball on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah,
again, that's another blow to the outfield.
yeah.
That is another blow to the outfield, and it sucks.
Top of the rotation too. He was a good top of the order guy.
Yeah, he really was. I'm gonna miss him. You know who I think is going to be a big loss, who's going to be another big loss, and this could tie into next what we're talking about. Aroldis Chapman, because now we have no closer. Am I right?
Well, yeah, but
And also, he
is
was the
Clay
recipient of the
Clay Holmes still on the team, right?
yeah. I got Clay Holmes.
So it's not.
You
I
got
guess
Holmes. You got Loizica.
right. Why is it because he's gonna be like I would much rather have him as like a
Setup man.
bridge setup person than Holmes. Holmes to me, he struggled down the stretch. He could not get a save for his life. But now that he's had a season where he's been at experience of closing the door for teams, and first half of the season he actually did fairly well. I think that it's okay to have him try out again and see how he does.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, give the ball to either Holmes or Loizica. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And like speaking of, just pitching in general, this rotation, this bullpen, we're not going to sugarcoat this. It sucks.
They're young. I don't know about
Yeah.
sucks yet. They're young. It's a young bullpen. Now they did bring back Tommy Kahnle. Remember Tommy Kahnle?
Yes.
He was a
Okay,
stud
maybe
for the Yankees.
yeah, that could help us.
That could help us. And if Johnny Lasagna stays the way he is, and Holmes can have a bounce backer, and all it takes is for the young people, along with a Domingo Herman, who probably give you a couple of innings out of the pen, if he's not starting, obviously. It's one of those type of deals. I think that we gotta give this young bullpen a chance. These are people that were within the Yankee farm, so the Yankees know these people in and out. So it's not something that we should worry about too much. But the concern is that they're young. So how are they going to respond in a major league environment? We don't know yet.
Yeah.
And some of these guys have already been, but now they're going to have a full season of that.
And plus, our big concern, my big concern is now that rotation's kind of dwindling a little bit because Nestor Cortez got hurt. He's going to be out at least till May.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be out until at least May.
Yeah.
He's going to be. And then you have Frankie Montas, who's going to miss a majority of the season.
Yeah.
Which, folks, is a nice way of saying he gone.
Yeah. He the surgery is he's gonna be out for months. It's gonna be tough for him to come back from that. He has to do a throwing program. First, he has to get cleared to throw. Then he has to do a throwing program, and then get everything back up to season form, and that's gonna be tough. So I don't expect it to happen Like that's gonna be a rough comeback if he tries to come back this season. I'll be very surprised.
Do you think maybe they should have signed like another pitcher? I'm not saying like, like a Justin Verlander, but maybe like a
No.
Dylan Bundy or a Garrett Richards.
Yeah, I mean, short ends, yeah, fine. But like I said, it also gives the chance for Domingo Herman. But my concern with that is it's sort of like you're sort of forcing a hand there. Now you're expecting him to go out and give you a good game, which we know he cannot do because he has not consistently done that. Um, so I'll be interesting to see because I know Herman's probably gonna get a chance at that starting role. Luis Severino too. Luis Severino hasn't really played the
Yes,
full season. On top of that, when he has played, he's
because
been mediocre at best.
we've always said, Reg, he can't even step on the field without getting injured
Yeah, so
sometimes.
that's gonna be tough to watch. Um, so then now we have to really rely on the top two starters, Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon,
Yes.
and we know they can get the job done. But now it's an extra thing, and it also puts extra pressure on the hitting,
Because
which
now
you
they got to
know,
cover for the pitching.
yeah, because they're gonna have to score a lot of runs. Early in the season, fine. Like I have no issue with the Yankees. Down the stretch, if we don't have Nestor or we don't have Montes, well, I mean, then the hitting's gonna be tough to do because you saw how the Yankees were. Yankees were winning games all over the place last season, right? Beginning of the
Yeah.
season, they were unstoppable. Then they got to All-Star break and couldn't find a win anywhere.
Yeah, because if you look the first half of the game back in November when I did the Yankee recap with Mike the Pun Master Rifkin,
Mhm.
and he made a brilliant point. He said you take out that first half of the season, the Yankees would not made the playoffs.
They're not even close to a playoff.
They would have not made the playoffs.
No.
If you took out from April to the first half to the All-Star break, if you take that out, so if you go from July to October, they would not make the playoffs. So, yeah, that's what I think right now you got to, like you said, the hitting's got to come through, give these pitchers some room. You have to, and, like right now, like, do you have to maybe possibly sign like a Bundy or a Garrett Richards or
Yeah, do you have to sign someone or
for like a 1-2 year deal?
yeah, or again, like I said, promote someone from AAA.
Do you have to bring someone up?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting how they handle that rotation. It really is.
Because at this point, what are you going to do? And
Well, yeah, I don't know, man.
because right now,
Uh,
like we said, Nestor is out until May, if we're lucky.
yeah,
And what's his face? Montas is going to be 90% chance he's going to be out for the whole season.
yeah.
Let's just accept that now, okay? And let's also bring up the fact that this was the worst trade Cashman and Steinbrenner have ever done.
I wouldn't say the worst. There've been
I
worse.
put it up there.
There've been worse.
No,
Been watching this team for my entire life. They're worse.
I put that in the top 10, if not the top 5.
Right.
Like this was just, and you had another pitcher, Jordan Montgomery, who you traded to St. Louis. I'm like, which at first, when I was looking about how Bader was doing, I'm like, you get him when you're 60 days IL, are you crazy? But then once he started getting the bat, I'm like, okay, this wasn't a terrible trade.
Well,
but in hindsight,
in
it kind of
hindsight,
was.
yeah, because and that's another player, Harrison Bader, right? Completely forgot about him. Another one that could be a huge game changer in terms of the outfield. So expect him to play a lot and do a lot for the team. But yeah, I mean, hindsight, as much as I love Bader, the pitching is in a big hole. So, that's a tough one. It's a tough
Yeah,
one.
I think the pitching is going to be the one thing that's going to give me a splitting headache this year. So,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So, few other things here, since we talked a lot about free agency, of course. Free agent that's going to be coming up next year, Manny Machado. After this season, he's going to opt out and he'll be a free agent.
I don't
Yes or
know.
no?
Quickly, I don't think the Yankees should do it.
I don't think so either, because he's coming out of a 10-year deal.
Well, he's opting out.
He's opting out of a 10-year
Of a
deal. And he's
10-year
going to
deal.
expect something like that from the
So,
Yankees.
Well, he's just gonna try to get a lot of money because Machado has been he's lived up to that contract. The Padres haven't lived up as a team, but he's lived up to that contract.
Yeah, he's gonna, because again, we don't want four big contracts: Cole, Judge, Stanton, and then Machado.
Yeah.
At this point, play the kids. Just play
Yeah.
the kids.
I would do the young people
Give the young
absolutely.
folks a shot.
Manny's a great player. I would stay away.
Yeah.
Miles and miles away. Miles and miles away.
Okay. Time for rapid fire. Are you ready?
Yes.
I am going to give you, we only have 2 questions today, but I'm going to give you 2 minutes to answer them. Are you ready?
Sure. Let's go.
Okay. Question 1. Which player do you think is going to be a sleeper for the Yankees this year?
DJ LeMahieu.
I'm going with Harrison Bader.
Okay. DJ
Okay.
he needs a big season.
Yes.
He
No, I
needs a
like
big
LeMahieu
season,
too.
big time. Yes.
I hope he does have a good season.
Mhm.
Question 2. And this has a few parts to it. Who do you think is going to be the Yankees' biggest competition in the AL East?
Blue Jays.
Guess what? I'm thinking the same thing.
Blue Jays have a good young team. They beefed up their pitching, and their hitting is just going to get better and better and better. That's a scary lineup.
Outside the division, who do you think is going to be their big league competition?
Still the Houston Astros.
I would say the Astros as well. They just won the World Series, but you know who also I think could be a big competition?
Mm-hmm.
The Twins.
I agree. The Twins. They got Correa back. They're pretty much running it back with the same team, and plus other additions. So that's a nice young team in Minnesota that they're going to do. The Seattle Mariners are the other team that I was thinking of.
No, I think that
they just they improved their hitting.
I think Seattle could be a big competition. I think Houston could be a big competition. I think Minnesota could be a big competition.
Yes.
So yeah, that is, wow, we answered those questions under 2 minutes.
Let's go.
Yeah. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. This was episode 1. I broke out the Garrick jersey for this, as you could say. I don't mess around here.
Yeah,
Dan will tell you I don't mess around.
No, you don't mess around for sure. No.
I brought out the Garrick jersey for this. So if you want to see more of this, Dan, where do they go, my friend?
So just go to our YouTube page, the Sports Insanity Network. You'll find this thing. You'll find other videos, other vlogs, I mean. And check out our live batter up show every Sunday. Times are
Whatever we feel like going on.
Yeah. Expected around 11, at least 11 o'clock. So one of those times. But we will go live and we'll let you know when we're live for that.
And we hope you enjoyed this first episode. And, down the line, we'll have some other folks come on and give their opinions about the Yankees.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. In the meantime, it's just me and Bill. And we're excited to bring you some Yankee talk throughout the season. I'm excited for this, Bill.
I am too. I cannot wait to do this
Yeah,
again.
can we do it in March? Or
Then-
after the season, we have a better sense of what the team's going to look like to start off. So,
Yeah, because now we're just sort of
yeah,
it's sort of speculation at this point.
yeah, exactly.
We're just, getting all the bugs out and seeing, yeah.
Yeah.
So I am Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy for Danny Boy Reginald. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and take care.
www.thesportsdaynetwork.com. Peace.